the Firefox. One of the coolest looking limited Zoids. I think I'll pick one up to do soon. Just jump on the old eBay and take a look and... I don't think so, Tim. Surely there's got to be one up for something a bit more realistic, right? Let's just set this to worldwide, and... nah. Alright, let's try the single word trick, and... it's worse. I think the wildest part about this is, unless you're a super diehard collector, you'd be paying 7 times the price of a regular fox for something that's merely molded with a different color. The problem is, I still want a Firefox, so I guess I'll do one myself. Right, the starting point for me was picking a Shadow Fox up from 105th Armory, along with an arrangement of SMS Paints in the same spirit of the Firefox, but with a bit of a twist. You'll obviously notice there's no airbrushing footage in this video. I'm currently trying to figure out and tweak the angles to get the setup a bit better for future footage with the equipment that I have for now. I've been wanting to do something neat and fancy for a while now, and imagining the Fox done like that was a good thought. So I began conjuring up what it would look like in my head, and after using the pearl purple from SMS on the lightning sights, I settled on their range for the whole custom paint job for this kit. A quick footnote with custom painting Zoids and limited release kits. Although many of the limited releases are brilliant in colour, not too many of them are special because they have special parts, outside of the pilot of a character included. If you've missed the train on many of the limited runs, you can always pick up the regular versions of a kit to paint yourself, and save a chunk of change and hassle. And I'll be doing quite a few of them myself. The way I mimic the limited colouring is simply organising the parts into Ziploc bags from the sprue, trimming them up as I go, and putting a colour label on them, as you can sort of make out from my build tray here. In this instance, I undercoated an entire colour of parts at a time, so I would take a bag, for instance, the one labelled red, and start and work with only that. At no point will I mix the bags or try to do 2 sections at once. With so many little pieces on the go, it's easy to accidentally miscolour something. Unlike the Sykes, with the Fox, I opted to individually airbrush each piece using a crocodile clip on a stick, or just a small stick by itself if there wasn't a great place to grip the part, and this took a few hours to do. All of the pieces were undercoated with Tamir's Silver Leaf before moving on to the finished colours, with the exception of the Pearl Red, which were all coated with the SMS White before I moved on to the Pearl, because, as per in their instructions, a white undercoat will actually bring out the best of their Pearl effects, whereas black undercoats end with more of a metallic finish. After laying down all of the white and pearl red base, I then moved on to converting all of the gold pieces to silver and silver to gold, which I have to say, the SMS metallics really came through here. I'm really fussy with gold, so this one was ordered in for me by 105th, and I really think it nailed what I was chasing, coming out a lot nicer than I initially thought it would. Following the gold, I moved on to the German brown for the spinny leg bits, which is quite a distance away from the actual Firefox yellow. But pairing it with the rest of the colours selected, it should pop nicely. The bulk of the pieces outside of the armour were done with a much more vibrant reddish brown, but still nicely dark to complement the pearl, so the choice was German dark brown, and honestly, after using most of these German colours, I'm gonna have to give them a go on some of my 35th scale projects. Second to last were the Gatling's cogs and housing parts, which I aimed for a nice, darker grey, landing on the easy choice of German grey, as one does, because it's a fairly universally decent choice most of the time, and to be honest, I love how it looks. Lastly, after giving the pearl red a day or so to sit, I came back around and clear coated each piece with a clear red, which made the colour explode with vibrance, and gosh does it look good in the flesh. With all of the painting done and dusted, I let all of the pieces sit for a couple days before starting the build, with the goal of getting it completed and test fitted to ensure there wasn't any issues before I moved on to the basic detailing. Oh, also, if you're new to Zoids kits but a fan of the series, I'd just like to give you a bit of my opinion on the kit. This is definitely a more comfortable beginner kit if you're not familiar with modelling in general, being the Shadow Fox that is, and won't give you too much stress putting it together generally. If you're looking to show off the posing it can do once built, you'll be happy to know that it comes with a plug hole in the underside of the torso for the Koto stands, like the one that I used on my lightning sykes, which also allows you to put it in all manner of wild action poses. A lot of folks also use marker or lining pens for Gundams on their Zoids too, but if you're comfortable with a brush and don't mind a slightly less bold look, depending on how thick you apply it, the Games Workshop shades work just fine. Lastly, if you don't own an airbrush and you don't want to invest in one, but want some parts color swapped, say all of the gold sections to bright pink, I'd recommend using Tamiya's TS spray range on them. But if you're not experienced at spraying, double check online how to neatly apply them beforehand, of course. Alright, and now to finish up the test build before I move on to the detailing. He's coming along pretty decently, and it definitely looks like a flashy Firefox as a comparison. And here we have the basic Shadow Fox beside the painted Firefox, neither detailed, as a bit of a comparing. Now for the detailing. I kept this section extremely simple, using only the German brown from before to get the neck spinny thingos so they match the leg ones, and Games Workshop's Nuln Oil for all of the basic lining and pop. All in all, this was super enjoyable and I'm loving the end result. It's just a shame that I suck at this photography business, so hopefully you guys get the idea here. Alright, that was a blast. If you enjoyed it, specifically being a custom Zoid, fear not. The future holds many more, so check back every now and then. I'll be onto a pair of custom Lager Zeros as the next Zoid. My goldfish brain put them in a Sykes box after the last video, and I forgot they existed before moving on to this one, so I'll be sure to start that one hopefully soon. Thanks for watching, take it easy.